Hey, welcome to Kate Crafts. I'm Kate. Today I would like to share with you my third project for the Christmas in July 2023 Linky Party. Let's get started. To kick things off, this will be the die that I will be using today. This is a Fancy Dies by Hero Arts, and I'm not 100% sure what the name of the die is, but we're just going to call it the Yule Log Television die. I picked this up last year some time ago, I think on clearance. I can't remember where I got it, but I just thought it was kind of neat, and I've had to play it with it for, I don't know, probably 2 times already, so this would be my third card with it. I don't know, it's kind of neat. Like, you can layer this up and cut off pieces, and it gives you these little lines with, I don't know how to explain it. There's like little notches that you just have to cut to remove bits, like the inner part of the TV here that you can see. And I cut off the little legs and where the antenna goes, and you can just layer them up however you please. This one I layered up with the legs on one of them and the little antenna thing. And now I'm just going to take this guy right here and cut everybody off, because we're going to do a little bit of inlaying with the silver cutout and the gold cutout. So you can see what I'm doing here, just going around the little notches and cutting them off with my utility knife, or whatever, my craft knife. And that way I can take bits from the silver and just lay them in. Now this was a little finicky to do. I found that after cutting them for a while it kind of got tedious, but I think the overall result of doing such was pretty cool, because it really made this piece dimensional, like with the 2 different colors. And I do love like that 1950s retro look. I do like 50s fashion. I think it's pretty cool, especially for the women and their hairdos and the fancy dresses that they wore, and I don't know, I just think it's really cool. And that was the whole reason of buying this. So you can see here I'm just snipping off the little legs. That way we have a little bit of dimension with the legs being underneath the TV, so to speak. I don't know, you'll see once it all comes together how dimensional this die really can be if you layer it correctly. Or, you know, however you want to layer it, you'll see. This is kind of just the die piecing. I don't do too many die piecing cards altogether. I do like to color and whatnot, and I do a little bit of coloring for this video, so don't worry, I haven't left any coloring out. So here I've done the exact same thing, just cut little pieces out, and then I'm just inlaying them into the white ones. So the white ones are like 110 pound cardstock. I think it's just a Recollections brand. And then this pewtery silver and like brushed gold that I'm using here. Now this is just from a Dollarama paper pack. Here in Canada we have the Dollar Tree and the Dollarama, and they often have some really interesting craft items, and I had found this 6x6 paper pad with this paper in it, and one had the gold with other gold style paper in it, and or like to match with it, and then the silver had silver and almost like a hollow sheet to it too, which I thought was kind of neat. And I'm quite pleased that I was able to pick this up, because it would make for really good Christmas cards. So I don't know, do you guys shop at dollar stores for your craft papers and or items or anything cool? What was the coolest thing that you've ever found at the dollar store? I know when I first started making cards, I really wanted a glass mat, and lo and behold, one day they had a 12x12 glass mat. And if you've watched any of my earliest videos when I first got started on YouTube, that was one of the mats that I always used. And then as time went by and a birthday came and one of my dearest friends gave me a Michaels gift card, that's how I got this kind of messy craft pad thing. I think it's actually for sewing. It's a self-healing mat, and I think it's like 13 by 18 or something. I don't know. It hides my old IKEA table that was gifted to me. They were gonna throw it out, and I was like, oh, I'll take it. That'll be perfect. So Yeah, I've got an old IKEA table for a craft desk, covered in a mat, covered in lots of goops and paints and whatnot. So after I've got all the papers glued together for the television here, I am just going to take this scrap piece of white that we have and trace out where the Yule log is going to be, so that way I can come in with some Copic colors and give the Yule log a little bit of color and dimension, so to speak. So I'm just going to go in here with my E17 marker along the bottom of where I traced. I'm not being precise, this is just eyeballing it because I'm going to die cut this out anyway, and I didn't really have any wood grain paper that I wanted to use because the die for the log is very textured, and I was quite pleased with how this turned out. So I'm just using the scrap piece of paper that came from one of the cutouts, and I've gone in with the E17, the E15, and now I'm doing the E13. And once I'm happy with the blend, I will go in with an eraser just to make sure that I don't get any pencil mark lines when I do cut this out. So you can kind of see the little nugget of brown here. This will be a log. Trust the process. I know it looks terrible. So once I've done that, I'm going to take this off camera and I'm going to go ahead and cut that out. So you can see my little brown log, and I've got the little grate here that I can glue on. That's another die that comes with this set, is the little grate that the log sits on. And what I want to do here is there's no bottom to this flame, and I'm just kind of eyeballing where I want it to be on this bit, and I'm just going to cut that out so you can see that there is no bottom to the flame. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that log die again and I'm going to line it up to where I want that cut out, and once I've got that cut out, then I can inlay the flame and the log into our little TV here. But first I'm going to do all this off camera because I wasn't paying attention to how much in frame I was when I was making this card. It was kind of like, how can I put this together? Because this is a very unique die to have a log with a fire inside of a TV, and I don't know, I just thought it was interesting because, well, when you think about it, if you have a party or something and you turn the TV on and you just throw like a fireplace with Christmas music on, sometimes they have the log glowing on the TV, and I mean, I remember my mom doing that when I was a kid, whenever she would have parties, but they also had a little fireplace, so it was kind of nice. But I've seen at other people's parties too, them doing this, so I guess that's what maybe that they had in mind when they created this die. I don't know, Hero Arts is kind of neat because they have a lot of interesting dies and 6x6 background stamps that are just really super cool. So here I'm just going in with some warm gray markers. I'll make sure that to leave all the markers that I used in this in the description box below. And I probably should take a moment to kind of tell you what all this is about. If you haven't watched my other two Linky Party videos, over on Facebook there is a Build Your Stash Holiday Card Challenge group, and they have a Linky Party going on. So basically what you do is you make a holiday project, either winter or Christmas or Kwanzaa or Hanukkah or anything that goes on around that time, and you post it on your social media, then you head over to the website and you link where you posted it, and you have a chance to win something from one of our sponsors, which I don't have the list of the sponsors off the top of my head, but maybe this will encourage you to go check out the link in the description box below for this, because it's quite neat. I mean, I had a lot of fun creating the Christmas cards. I know a lot of people are creating the Christmas in July cards, and who knows, maybe you've got a stash of Christmas in July cards that you've been working on. I'd like to know in the description box below if you'd like to leave a... No, not the description box. What am I talking about? I'm trying to push an ad here. Leave a comment in the comment section below. Are you working on your Christmas cards? Or are you just... No, not right now. Not right now. It's still July. I still want to enjoy the sun. I mean, personally, I'm already thinking about fall cards, and you know, it's almost the end of the month, and you know, the end of the month always brings Get Creeping, and you know, you might want to stay tuned for that. You might see something cute on the way. But this isn't Get Creeping. This is actually build your holiday stash gift card, Christmas cards. I don't know why I keep saying gift cards. Derp. But yeah, it's pretty cool group. They have a Facebook group that everybody can follow along and post what they make, and they have a monthly sketch that you can base your cards off of. Now, doing sketch cards has always been a challenge for me, but I've really enjoyed this challenge. The one that they currently have going on, I've been really struggling with. The last 2 months that I did them, I was able to envision fun and exciting cards, but this particular one that they've got going on for the month of July has been difficult. I'll admit it. But I do love a good challenge, so I'm just going to take this dollar store paper that I have here with the foil, and I'm just going to glue on my television and make sure that that's mashed down nice. And then I'll take the little TV antennae that I cut out. This also has an antennae die, or antennae. That's such a weird word. Antennae. I don't know. Anyway, I'm just going to glue those down real quick. That way I have my little antennae. Antennas? Antennas. Oh my god, you guys. I am on the struggle bus with words today. I'm sure you guys are smacking your foreheads. Oh my god, Kate, what is wrong with you? And I'll tell you, just about everything's wrong with me. But that's why you come, because it's funny. So here, I'm just going to take what I cut out here and colored in with the warm gray markers and the yellow marker here. And I'm going to inlay that into the TV now. If everything lines up properly, just be able to push that in. Get that in nice and snug. And then that way I can inlay my log and my fire. So, I mean, you could also do this a little more dimensional and cut out a couple of logs and a couple of little flames here, and, you know, have more than just that. It's kind of limitless, you know, you can do all sorts of things with this. I thought it was kind of neat, which is one of the reasons why I got it. But I'm just taking this yellow marker and kind of bringing a little more highlight of yellow around everything to show the glow of the fire, and then I'm just going to take the little grate. I'm actually not sure what this piece is called. It's just the metal bit that's supposed to hold the log above so you can get vented underneath the log and whatnot, I'm assuming. I don't know. I'm not a pyrotechnic. I don't know much about creating fires. That's not my job when we go camping. So here I've just got another little cutout of that gold paper that I'm just going to pop those on the little dials here because they were looking a little bare and I needed to even them out. So that's what I'm doing here. I'm just cutting out the little notches, and I have a lot of extra pieces from this die too, which is nice because you don't end up using everything that you cut out. You could use it for another card. And yeah, so we're going to plop down a little bit of glue here. I'm going to grab my reverse tweezers and I'm going to plop that on, move it around and make sure they're in there nice and neat. Throw a little bit of glue down on this one, and then I can plop that one down. And because this card didn't quite hold the flame to my imagination, I'm going to add some of this gold wink of Stella. Now, I don't trust myself squeezing these things on my projects, as some of you know, so I always grab a scrap piece of paper and kind of squeeze some of it out so I have something to dip in. Now, I doubt this is the proper way to use a wink of Stella, and you probably end up wasting a lot of it doing it, but I'd rather waste a little bit and not ruin my project. So this is kind of where I go all willy-nilly with the gold, and then I think, well, that looks a little funny, even though it hasn't dried back yet. I'm going to come in with a clear Winka Stella, because why not, right? So we're going to give that glow of the flame a little bit of a twinkle with the Winka Stella, and then once we're done with that, we're going to need a sentiment. Now, I was a little stumped with the sentiment, so because I had Cheery Christmas out, and I really liked that set by Fawn, I kind of really dig the Merry Christmas sentiment in it. So I'm just going to take that gold Winka Stella, and I'm just going to go around the edges and kind of paint it a little bit. It's subtle, you don't really notice it, but just to kind of break up that white a little bit against the background, I think. I think that's what I was thinking about doing there. So once I've done that, I am going to take a clear glazed jelly roll pen, and I'm just going to go over the Merry Christmas to give it just a slight bit of texture. I mean, that's one of the things that I like about the jelly roll glazed pens, is that it gives it just a tiny amount of dimension. Again, it's subtle. Unless you're a card maker, are you going to notice these things? But if you don't have a card maker's eye, it's probably just a really nice card, and thanks for the card kind of thing. I know, I get all excited about other people's cards, and I'll show like my mom or my sister, and they'll just, oh, wow, that's nice. Oh, okay, that's crazy. So once I've trimmed off the edges, my card is complete. All I have to do is put it on a card base. So again, I encourage you to go check out the Build Your Stash Holiday Card Challenge group. And as always, thanks for hanging out with me today. Take care.